Vincent Van Gogh is one of the most successful artists ever. In 1990, 100 years after his death, one of his original paintings sold for $82.5 million.
$5 million. Please.
Uber wealthy art collectors have said that they would pay $1 billion for Van Gogh's original Starry Night painting. There is an entire museum dedicated to his work. Do you know how many paintings Van Gogh sold during his lifetime? 1. For all he knew, the world never paid much attention to his art. But in no way did that stifle his creative output. He poured himself into his art, producing over 2,000 works in the 10 years of being a focused artist before his untimely death at the age of 37. Selling paintings or being recognized was never what motivated Van Gogh. And the fact that zero mental energy went to hoping and wishing and thinking about external success is likely part of what led to so much success. He was all in on the process. Psychologists have highlighted two types of motivation: extrinsic and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is when you are motivated to do what you're doing because of the outcome it may lead to. Intrinsic motivation is when you are motivated by the inherent joy and satisfaction of the process. With extrinsic motivation, the process is a means to an end. With intrinsic motivation, the process is an end in itself. You can be intrinsically and extrinsically motivated, of course, like when you love your job and you're motivated by the paycheck. But what is so interesting is that extrinsic motivation can interfere with intrinsic motivation. Focusing on the outcome can distract from the process in a way that degrades the quality of the process. Particularly when it comes to creativity, immersing yourself in the process is what it's all about. It's how we enter flow states. It's how we encounter the muse. Immersion unlocks magic. Now, of course, veteran creators often emphasize that creativity is also about chopping wood and carrying water, just being consistent and engaging with the process even when the muse is nowhere to be found. But whether you catch a magical flow or you're just grinding, this principle of creativity applies. This principle, which is the principle of my creative life, can be summed up in 3 words: engaged yet detached. To be wholeheartedly engaged with the process and totally detached from the outcome is the way we create our greatest works. And it's what can sustain our creativity. It's how we control what we can control. And it's how we maintain a connection to the inspiration of creation. Now, of course, I'm not saying that we can't appreciate and enjoy positive recognition we get as the world takes in what we've put out. We can set goals for sales, views, art exhibitions, etc. We can analyze the data and make adjustments. I'm sure I'll look at the analytics of this video. And very importantly, we should look for every opportunity to refine our technique. What I am saying is that when we get too emotionally wrapped up in the outcomes, we take energy away from the process. It's wise to strategize about how to get our work further out into the world, but not if it's at the cost of getting our work further into people's minds and hearts. The type of creative product that impacts people most profoundly and that is actually likely to garner the most external success is the product of a creative person with refined technique who poured their soul into the process. Van Gogh painted Starry Night a year before he died, 9 years deep into his art career. Imagine if he had been slowed down by a sense of disappointment that 2,000 works had gone unappreciated. I'd like to leave you with a quote from Van Gogh that just hits me so hard. He said, "What am I in the eyes of most people? A non-entity, an eccentric, or an unpleasant person. Somebody who has no position in society and will never have. In short, the lowest of the low. All right then, he said. Even if that were absolutely true, then I should one day like to show by my work what such an eccentric, such a nobody has in his heart. That is my ambition, based less on resentment than on love in spite of everything, he said, based more on a feeling of serenity than on passion. Though I am often in the depths of misery, there is still calmness, pure harmony and music inside me. I see paintings or drawings in the poorest cottages, in the dirtiest corners, and my mind is driven toward these things with an irresistible momentum. I hope this video has inspired you to continue creating, and I thank you for watching one of our creations here at Psychology Is.
If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe.